Hey y'all, we're back from the couch. HisNHer Football Talk. We're talking about us.
With the road vibe.
Oh yeah, with the road vibes.
With the road vibes.
Tuesday night, our son's asleep.
There's supposed to be a game on tonight, but it really ain't. It got moved to Wednesday, which is Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So.
Yeah. And then I heard that they got 2 more people out, the Ravens, due to COVID. So, I mean, we'll see what's going to go on with that game. There was probably a few games that shouldn't have been played this past week 12. But, anywho, recapping Sunday's games, we had Miami get that dub over the Jets.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick played a good game.
Parker?
I was surprised he came out pretty consistent. I mean, I know he had that little break, considering Tua took some time from him. So it was good to see him get back in the groove of things and carry the team forward. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, they got that win, 20-3 over the Jets. And then you had the Cardinals at New England, and we don't mess that one up. We said the Cardinals. We picked the Cardinals to win.
They had a trash game. The Cardinals had a trash game. They held Murray to very little. I know at fantasy they held him under 10 points. I can tell you that.
Well, Newton didn't do hardly anything either.
No, Newton also had a very inconsistent game. I think he had like 84 passing yards and 9 rushes for like 46 yards and a touchdown. But I mean, that just goes to show you that he's that system that he's got going there with Belichick. It's obviously so inconsistent right now because they haven't had the time to build, such as him and Brady. But if they do get more time together, and I think they can develop something good. But
yeah, I
mean, it's just going to take some time. Although they did get the win, congrats to them. I know the Cardinals were on a roll, so it's good to see somebody, the underdog get the win because I can guarantee you they were. So.
Oh yeah, no, of course. And then some people had to say, a part of like Murray, he just wasn't himself because of his shoulder, and that had, played a part in it. And just New England, they found a way to win because their quarterback wasn't doing much. Harris ran the ball, here and there, but White was getting the touchdowns, especially, at least in fantasy.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else was getting those. White was the one that was getting them, getting those touches, getting those touchdowns. And that was for fantasy because Harris didn't do too much.
No, but I think it goes to show you that who is the leader as far as for their first and second down work. I mean, James White, he is a pass catching back. He did score those 2, small run touchdowns, which is great. They got the win, but Damian Harris is definitely, I think, the number 1 back as far as for their first couple down work. So we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, no, for sure. So go ahead, New England. That was a good win for them, and it just shows Belichick, he ain't no scrub. It don't matter who he has, which players that he has to play with. He's one of the best coaches, and that's undeniable. Okay, and so the Panthers at the Vikings. The Panthers almost pulled that out. They almost did. The Vikings, they ended up winning, but it was close, 27-28.
And just as I said, Justin Jefferson was going to have to step up big. I mean, he did. Adam Thielen was out, like we said. He's on the COVID list. The rookie stepped up in a big way. Put up points for them. Put up points for himself as far as in fantasy. So it was good to see that they overcame the adversity and got the win. So it was cool.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Christian McCaffrey should be back for Carolina this coming week. We're going to really monitor him this week as far as for his updates and what he's got going on as far as for practicing or limited practices and stuff like that. But we should see him back. If not, well, we're just going to keep paying attention. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. Hopefully he comes back, especially for fantasy players. He's always at least 30 points guaranteed.
He's played 3 games this year as far as for fantasy owners, and he's put up 25 plus points each game.
Oh yeah, easy. Like He's
Definitely
that
goes
offense.
to show you what he can do while he's healthy.
Oh, for sure. Now, what about these Browns and the Jags? Because I'm telling you, I called that upset, and there wasn't an upset, but I'm just saying.
It was a close game. It could have been an upset.
And exactly.
It could have been an upset.
And you know what's crazy is the Browns have like a 7-3 record, or maybe 8-3 now. I don't know. And they ain't really too much. Like, they're not.
No.
Their record says a whole lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's different than the actual team.
For sure. I can agree with that.
So, I don't know if it's just, like, the teams that they've played or whatever the case, because Baker, I mean, he ain't been doing what he should be doing.
I mean, he's inconsistent. That's for sure. You can say that. But, I mean, the record goes to show. I mean, Myles Garrett.
But that running back.
And Myles Garrett was out too. Well, they have a two-headed monster back there in the running back. They got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Those two runners right there alone can produce a lot of yards, produce points.
Mm-hmm.
They can definitely wear down a defense as far as for getting, hard-nosed football. That's just what it is. I mean, you got two runners built like that, you can definitely take advantage of a defense and wear them down pretty quick. Then it sets you up for the play action that Baker can try to take care of. But as far as for their game scheme and all that stuff, I mean, they got the win, and even though it may not have went their way, they got the win.
Oh, yeah. But the Browns, I mean, they won. So, go ahead, Browns. They got another W for them. Titans versus the Colts. We know who chose the Colts. And I chose the Titans. That boy Henry's almost at 1,300 yards. That boy Henry was... He was... Stephen Smith was talking this morning about how Henry is way more valuable than Mahomes, because those two should be the two that are talked about for, like, MVP of the year. And he was pretty much saying, like, Patrick Mahomes has a, players set around him. So he's able to do what he's able to do, you know what I mean? Even an average quarterback could still win games with who he has. But then Stephen A. Smith, But then Stephen A. Smith, his argument was just like, name another running back in the league that can do what Henry's doing for his team. There ain't no other running back whose offense is on their back. I mean, Tannehill and Brown, and they have that combo and stuff, but Henry, what did he have? Like over 200 yards? Like 3 touchdowns?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was over. It might have been over 200, close to it. But he did have 3 touchdowns. But I mean, usually as we saw last year in the play or close to the playoffs and in the playoffs, Tennessee is the one who got hot. Henry got hot. He got to rolling. It was hard to stop him.
And he stays rolling.
But he got stopped. It just takes a great game scheme and a great defense to be able to be willing to sacrifice their bodies, taking a few chances, because that's what it's going to take to be able to stop him. There was a few plays that I saw in that game that some of the defenders came down and they played Henry. They were tackling one-on-one. Usually you can't do that. Usually you don't make a tackle, with Henry one-on-one. It takes more than one man. But if you wrap him up and make a correct tackle, right, it can be done. It can be done. And even if you don't take him down yourself, as long as you have him wrapped up, as most players don't nowadays, whether it's college, football, high school, whatever, they don't wrap up. That's the biggest problem that I see with defenses. If you can do that, you can have his legs wrapped up, and your defense, as they're told to pursue, will be there. But you have to have the trust. That's the only way to stop that man. And teams have yet to do it. They've come close, but I mean, this is where they're getting hot. So
yeah, Indy wasn't able to do it, but I also know Indy, at least like for their defense, had like a couple of like key players out that definitely made a difference as far as trying to stop Henry, or at least attempting to do that. But I mean, all the way around the Titans defense, they were picking Rivers like every defense does. So I mean, it was a great effort from the offense and the defense, and the Colts, I mean, it was just something they couldn't handle, at least not Sunday. So they got 45-26. That's they were running it up on them. All right, Giants and the Bengals. The Giants pulled out that win. I know we saw Gilbert on the big screen. Shout out Texas.
For sure.
Shout out Texas. And the Giants came out with
Colt McCoy.
I mean McCoy.
Yeah, anyway, it's Colt McCoy.
But still, Texas, good luck.
Shout out him. And then big ups to Wayne Gallman. Wayne Gallman had a good day. As far as for their running game, he I don't know what his yardage was and what his attempts were, but I know he had a good game, had a great game in fantasy, and he's putting up points for them, especially coming in. Saquon's out.
I know.
He's going to be out to the rest of the season. If you got a back like Wayne Gallman that can come in and produce points like that, I mean, as far as for your ground game, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But, I mean, there's Danny Dimes. He's doing his thing. Or he's trying to. I know he's done it with his legs a few times. So as long as he can get those receivers going, Sterling Shepard's back for him, they can get him going, I think they'll be all right. So.
Yeah, well, and now the Giants, they're ahead in the East Division, whatever you want to call it, in the NFC.